Hello, and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2's Fan Club Radio. Now, this specific episode of the Fan Club Radio is a special, I would call it, because it's not part of the regular Fan Club Radio series. This is actually Fan Club Radio CD 2018, and that was the name of the CD, not just the year that it came out. This was part of a set released at Comic Market 2018, that was C95 in Japan. And what that was is it was just a big doujinshi convention, but they also have companies, game companies, manga companies, and they come in and sell these products. So this CD was part of Aquaplus's set that year in 2018. It has Setsuna and Kazusa's voice actresses as the usual lead. They also invited Haruki's voice actor to come as well. So let's go ahead and first read through the CD analysis. What comes through, above all, in this radio CD is the extraordinary depth and breadth of love felt for White Album 2, and particularly its characters by fans and cast members alike. It is on the latter that we would like to primarily... I think I'm dyslexic. We would primarily like to focus, as it is striking to see the enthusiasm of the fan base for a media work mirrored in those more directly involved with the work. So, basically, everyone's really passionate about the game. Takahiro Mizushima, the voice of Haruki, sang solo for the first time at the school festival event that serves as one of the main topics of discussion. He expresses how pleasantly surprised he was with the overwhelmingly positive reception of his singing, described some of the anxieties he had, wondering whether the audience might tease him, wondering whether he ought to make a concerted effort to put the character of Haruki across in his performance. And what they're referring to here was not part of the CD at all. This was part of the Live and Talk show. It was like a live White Album 2 show that had a bunch of the voice actors and actresses, and Haruki actually sang, which is pretty cool. Ultimately, he had discovered that he greatly enjoys singing and wants to do it again. And somewhere along the line, may want to try playing the guitar himself, embodying Haruki even more completely. I don't know that that's a great thing, but it is a thing. Interesting. He goes so far as to compare potential songs to attempt, according to the apparent difficulty of their guitar parts, showing that he has already given the idea some genuine thought. One moment from Mizushima that sticks out in particular is the notion he puts forth, even though he buries it within a hefty layer of disclaimers, that the second verse of Todokanai Koi might have been added by Kazusa. And again, I just want to point out right away, this is his own personal opinion. This is not canon. This is just like, hey, what if this happened? Like, that could be the case. Definitely not confirmed. He puts forth his reasons, how the lyrics themselves, on a literal level, describe not being able to look straight at someone, match Kazusa's side of things better than Haruki's, and sets up the context. Kazusa stealthily adding the verse, and Haruki simply looking the other way. This is a fully realized interpretation, and demonstrates the strength of his personal investment in White Album 2, beyond simply providing the voice of a single character. It's a cool idea, and I like thinking about it like that, but I definitely don't think this is the case. I do not think Kazusa added an extra verse in Todokanai Koi. Madoka Yonezawa, the voice of Setsuna, talks about a bit of a mental scene setting of her own, how she imagined during the reunion of the original school festival show that she was genuinely on stage with Haruki and Kazusa. This notion, yet again, is the sort of detail that one might rather expect a fan to come up with. Yonezawa also reiterates her hopes for a second season of the White Album 2 anime, a sentiment she had expressed at the event, cementing her viewpoint as the one who was invested in the series as much as any other fan. I love that. That's so cute. And I am still hoping for a season 2, but it's been a while. I don't know if that would come back. I hope, but I don't think so. Similarly to Mizushima, Hitomi Nabatame, the voice of Kazusa, had some apprehensions over singing solo for the first time, but states that, above all, she was focused on making sure Kazusa was the one singing. Oh, that's so cute. Because it's a big thing. Do you want to sing as yourself? Because obviously the voice actresses actually have lives. Or do you want to sing as your character? That's a big choice you have to make. It worked, too, as evidenced by the fan letters that call her performance the essence of Kazusa Toma herself. Nabatame's sheepishness in being given this particular letter of glowing praise to read aloud is a charming moment, with Yonezawa quickly realizing that the point was that she would read it like Kazusa, and Mizushima adding that she played that expectation out exactly. We get to see Nabatame embodying Kazusa almost unconsciously to complement her conscious focus on the character during the event. Back on the matter of Mizushima's solo performance, Nabatame mentions how unusual it is for fans to want the protagonist of a game to sing. Which is true, especially with the dating sim. There are some interviews, if you look up, where Fumiaki Maruto, the writer, did not expect Haruki to be a voiced character. Because a lot of dating sims, they want you to feel like you are the main character. You are dating these women kind of thing. But White Album 2, they made Haruki a full character and they gave Haruki a voice. And now fans want to hear Haruki sing. Like, that's crazy. It's very, very cool. Before coming up with the thought that, as Haruki was the one who wrote the lyrics to Todokanai Koi in the first place, hearing his voice singing them would be something deeply meaningful. That she reaches the conclusion so quickly also demonstrates her understanding of and synchronicity with the hearts of the fans. The After All segment, as silly as it gets, provides a further opportunity for both the fans and the actors to display their interest in the characters and attention to detail. That they asked people to send in lines they wanted to hear in the first place is no small deal, since such an invitation could turn into a minefield easily, depending on the nature of the fans. Which, there are some people who are just socially weird and perverted and whatever. But then again, these fan letters were screened before the radio show, so who knows? Of course, only a few submissions are used. There's no knowing what the others were like, but those included show a good variety and come with notes from the senders, which are not only followed, but discussed and built upon by the cast members. They theorize about fans wanting to see a needy, almost submissive side from Kazusa, about the circumstances under which Setsuna would express exasperation with her boyfriend, which, doesn't come very often, about what would actually lead to Haruki begging for a harem ending, and what would ensue afterward. And, although there is some struggle not to laugh during the final scripted dialogue between Haruki and Kazusa, Mizushima and Nabatame fully commit to their line deliveries. Even the silliness is handled with a level of sincerity because the actors are just as interested in and attached to their characters as the fans are. Which I would hope so. The fact that, during the radio show, Setsuna and Kazusa's voice actors were still playing through the game. Like, they hadn't beat all the roots of White Album 2. That just boggled my mind. I was like, how are you a main character of a game and you've just never beat the game? Insane. At the very end, Yonezawa mentions that there were a lot of feelings she hadn't been able to express during the event, and she is glad to have had the chance to express them on this radio CD. In a sense, the messages sent by fans detailing their own emotions, reactions, and hopes for the future of White Album 2 have provided a framework for the performers to do the same, which connects with Nabatame's earlier observation that the stage and audience almost felt like a single unit during the event. This is the longest run-on sentence in the world, by the way. Rather than separate entities, really long sentence, right? rather than separate entities, which is, in turn, echoed by a few fan messages that mention a sense of unity as one of their strongest impressions. That was like a paragraph-long sentence. Everything they said is very true, and this is a very good analysis, but holy cow. Such mutual enthusiasm is beneficial and encouraging to both fans and performers, and seems to bode well for the future. Mizushima rejoices in the gaining of new fans. Nabatame considers the possibility of looking abroad, spreading the popularity of the series even further. Which, is amazing because I would love that. I think White Album 2 going overseas, I'm recording this right now, 2022, and there's an unofficial dub of the whole game right now, which is amazing. But we didn't have that a few years ago. And so it's just now spreading outside of like the diehard fans, that read it in Japanese. And that's amazing. So give it like 6 months, give it a year, it could build up a really big English audience. I just totally lost myself in thinking about how cool that is. Becoming international. Okay, here we go. It is clear that as long as the fans are ready to keep engaging, the cast members are ready and eager to keep giving because they value that engagement equally. All extremely important points about the radio show. And one of the reasons I kind of like that they had the analysis first is because now you have some themes in your head, right? They didn't directly spoil anything big or anything. Now that you're thinking about the themes and thinking about how meaningful this was to all the voice actors and actresses, now we get to go into it and hear their thoughts, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what they're thinking. That's the kind of thing they're thinking about. So that's kind of a cool thing that I enjoy. So, this is the White Album 2 Radio CD 2018 script. White Album 2 Fanclub Radio 2018 Radio CD chapter. All right, let's start things off for the Fanclub way. The Fanclub way for this radio CD. Hello everyone, I'm Madoka Yonezawa, and I play Setsuna Ogiso. Hello everyone, I'm Hitomi Nabatame, and I play Kazusa Toma. Hello everyone, I'm Takahiro Mizushima, and I play Haruki Kitahara. Yay, 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 Taichu-san! His name is not Taichu, but it's an alternate reading of his name, a different kanji. Well, same kanji, different reading. So that's why you'll hear them calling him that. Feels like it's been a while since we've done this. Yeah, you're right. Coming in to do a radio thing. The three of us together like this? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Although, just the other day, there was the White Album 2 School Festival Live and Talk. Yeah, right. We did that. Which, if you haven't seen anything from it, there are blogs and things that cover it. The School Festival Live and Talk was a really, really cool event, like I mentioned earlier. They actually had the voice actors and actresses live on the stage, and they had music, and they sung new songs as they discussed. Haruki, Setsuna, and Kazusa, and, their voice actors, all sang. And it really, it's just a very cool thing for fans to have been able to attend. And so this episode is set slightly after that concert, so they get to chat about it. That was really just the other day, huh? Just the other day. I'm still feeling a lot of the leftover heat from that. For sure. I haven't been getting much sleep, actually. What? Like, you've been so excited you can't sleep? Is that related? Before we started, I couldn't sleep because I was nervous. And ever since, I've been at such a high that I can't sleep. I completely know what you mean. You get it, right? That happens a lot with events. I was actually so exhausted after it was over that I completely crashed. Oh wow, I slept weirdly well. The funny comparison here is that after the school festival in the game, in White Album 2, Haruki just zonked out afterwards and slept through Kazusa kissing him, and then woke up to Setsuna finally. But the same thing. They had a concert, the girls couldn't sleep, Haruki slept like a log. Really? That must have been nice. No kidding. I mean, I'd lost all my steam by that point. I had to. Yeah, that makes sense. Good work, by the way, everyone. Great work. So, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah, we'll have plenty to talk about. Now, this radio CD. Right. Includes all 5 White Album 2 Fanclub Radio 2018 programs as broadcast on Onsen Internet Radio. And, we've invited Takahiro Mizushima-san, voice actor from Haruki Kitahara, as our radio CD chapter guest. I should just call him Haruki, honestly. Although, Mizushima-san is very much cooler than Haruki. Well, yes, welcome. He feels more like just one of the hosts than a guest. Okay, the change you just made to my introduction, I'm not sure I'm feeling it. Right? And as the opening for our radio CD, we have the very first Todokanai Koi, sung by Rena Uehara-chan. I've never heard her referred to as Chan before, but I guess Setsuna's voice actress is probably on pretty good terms with her. This is where it all starts. Wow, this song really was the starting point. Yeah. And it's the one that's not 13. Not 13. And 13, that was a very specific Rena Uehara CD, which was released as well. That one. Right. Wow. Yep. The very first one. It's unbranded. Also, this is totally unrelated, but the age on my Wikipedia page, right, has been fixed. This is one of those things that, like, average people just don't think about. The age being wrong on your wiki, like, that's a travesty to a not young girl, but young woman. I'm glad she got it fixed. Oh, good. You mentioned that at the event. Congratulations. Yep. Yeah, we talked about that a bit. I'm glad. Definitely. Everyone, thanks for your help. That turned into quite a fight. Wow, I was never really involved in that discussion, but, right? Since it was enough for you to bring it up on stage at the event, right? Must have been a pretty big deal. Yeah. It was a battle for this radio program for a long time. Every time it was fixed, it would get changed back. Yeah, it would get changed. And we weren't really sure what to do. But it's finally over. Good. Yep, no need to worry. Right. All right, now, let's get started. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio 2018 Radio CD Chapter. Enjoy! White Album 2, Fanclub Radio 2018 Radio CD Chapter. This program is sponsored by Aquaplus. All right, and so before we actually get into like the meat of the CD, we've had our analysis, we've had our introduction. I hope you're looking forward to the future, as we all are, of course, getting to hear from the biggest players in the game of White Album 2. So, I will stop there for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this special episode, the 2018 White Album 2 Fanclub Radio, and I'll be back with the next part shortly. So until then, hope you take care. See you.